PTSD for me is an emotional roller coaster ride. Every day's different. You can go through nearly every single emotion within a day or within an hour, within minutes sometimes. Anger, frustration, fear, terror. Frustration's the big one for me. And anger can get in there. Well, I mean, I didn't realise I had PTSD until I came home on R&R when I was serving in Iraq. Just a normal thing. Took my stepdaughter to school, went to Sainsbury's, picked up a few groceries, and then walking across a quiet square, town square where I was based up in North Yorkshire and Ripon, a car backfired and I found myself on the ground searching for cover, and that's when I first realised, hang on, something's not quite right, and I felt completely naked and vulnerable. I like to be where there's no one. I like to be in the company of animals more than people. Any more than 5 people and I start getting a bit uncomfortable. Even if it's family. I didn't even go to my mother's funeral last year because I knew there'd be lots of people there. Vehicles as well. My trade as a combat engineer was driver, so a lot of things that happened to me, I was in vehicles. So I have dramas with vehicles, being on motorways, driving. I don't do a lot of driving anymore. The last thing I want to be doing driving down the motorway is have a flashback. It's not too good. Well, I'm hyper-vigilant, so all my senses are heightened all the time. So I notice, in nature, when I'm out here, it levels it, puts it on a level, because you want your senses to wake up when you're out here, to take in the smells, the sights, the sounds, and to tune into the environment. So it makes me feel normal, but it's peace. I find peace. There's no distractions. I know what everything is. I rest. For me, it's calm, it's peace. I can rest out here, definitely. Nature, for me, is creation. It was created for us to enjoy. Animals, I just love animals. I'm gifted with animals. They find me just as fascinating as I find them, and they don't fear me, and that's great, because I do photography, and that helps massively. But I just love nature, I love animals. Right, photography for me, it helps me on lots of different levels. It gives me something to focus on. It gives me something to do. Makes me concentrate. It can help with, because I'm a marksman, so I'm good at shooting. So I'm not shooting a rifle anymore. I'm shooting a camera. So a lot of the principles are the same. You apply marksmanship principles to photography and it works. I get good shots because I'm a good shot. You give me a rifle or a camera, either way I'm going to get that shot. Fellow photographers, when I explain that to them, they understand that, and I teach them stance and breathing and things like that, and control. You have to be calm, especially if you're taking photos of wildlife. If you're not calm, they know it. So if you're cool, calm, collected, it works, definitely. Sometimes I can talk about it, no dramas, not a problem. Other times I try and talk about it and I end up in a state. It can trigger it. Plus I suppose you've also got this stigma of mental illness, but it's misunderstanding. They're starting to realise through research that PTSD isn't just a psychological condition, it's also physical. It is physical. It's changed the makeup of the brain. It's shrunk parts of the brain that control emotion. And this is research that's only just been done. So it's helping people like me who suffer with it to realise this and think, hang on a minute, it's not just in my head. My brain is damaged. There is damage there. It's not just a psychological trauma, it's a physical trauma. It's accepting it yourself. It can be difficult because you think, oh, get through it, sort yourself out like that, but you can't. No matter how hard you try, you just can't. Sometimes you just really can't. Doing everyday normal things are a challenge, like going to a supermarket, doing some shopping. I can't do it. And people being in my personal space, I'm very uncomfortable with them. I walk into a room and I'm already, within seconds I've worked out an escape route, and I've worked out how I can eliminate threats. Just walking down the street, I'm looking for ambush sites, I'm looking in windows, I'm looking at roofs, I'm looking at places where IEDs could be hidden, I'm looking where things could be booby trapped, I'm looking where snipers could be placed. So that's where I think. I think like that. I perceive things as threats all the time. So I'm looking at ways of avoiding those threats or neutralising the threats. Well, when I first come out of the treatment, I received was the same old, take these pills, you'll be fine. No, that's not an answer. Antidepressants, I'm not depressed. Beta blockers and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, no, I'm not going there. I can't take painkillers for my physical problems because the army's answer to everything was ibuprofen. Take these, you'll be fine. Well, I've taken so many, my stomach lining is destroyed. All you're doing is just putting a plaster over something. You're not curing it, you're not solving it, you're making it worse. You're giving more issues. I just suffer with side effects. So treatment-wise, it's just the NHS, they're not geared up for it. So I've been referred to things like combat stress, had interviews with them, and the way they do all the things won't work for me. We're all different. So I do self-treatment. I do what works for me. Coming out here works for me. Photography works for me. Spending time with animals works for me. Carving wood, sitting in the woods and carving a spoon out of a bit of wood. Sound, because I'm concentrating. I'm happy. I'm not focusing on anything but what I'm doing. Things are getting better. There is getting better, more research, more understanding, better therapies. But it's mainly the nightmares never stop. The night terrors never stop. A lot of this stuff doesn't stop. It won't just stop. You just learn to live with it. You learn to cope with it. It's learning to try to be normal, whatever that is, and just soldier on, basically. Go and get help. Talk to someone, definitely. Don't bottle it up. Bottle it up, you'll explode, and you'll do something stupid. And it's finding something that makes you stop yourself from doing that stupid thing. For me, it's been out here. It's animals. I don't own a dog myself, but there's a dog that's my best mate. And she is my gauge. If I think about Lola and I don't grin like an idiot, then I'm having dramas. If I grin like an idiot, then I'm all right. Because she's my mate. She's my morale. So there's a lot more awareness of mental illness these days, and there is a stigma attached to it. Don't worry about that. Get help. It's easier than you realise. So, do it.